Incarnate was directed by Brad Peyton, the man behind San Andreas, Journey to the Mysterious Island, and Cats and Dogs, The Revenge of Kitty Galore. And this film isn't good. All jokes aside, this movie stars Aaron Eckhart as a demonologist of sorts, but he doesn't really believe in the supernatural. He kind of accepts that parasitic entities exist, but he doesn't like to refer to them as demons. He doesn't refer to the devil as being a thing. He just believes that strange entities can take over somebody, and he has this machinery that allows him to dive into the person's mind via some wires and computers. Then he meets that person in their subconscious and forces them out of some sort of dreamlike scenario that allows them to be free from whatever's possessing them. He's also haunted by a woman who seems to invade all of these dreamlike scenarios, named Maggie, that he is constantly trying to find. So yeah, this isn't Inception combined with The Exorcist at all. It's definitely an original film that was in no way inspired by those far better movies. I like Aaron Eckhart a lot. I think he's an actor that when he gets the right role, he can really shine, like in The Dark Knight or Aaron Brockovich, but then he can be in films like I, Frankenstein or Incarnate. And he's easily the best part of this movie. He's giving a far better performance than this movie deserves, even though he's kind of doing his Aaron Eckhart gravelly Batman voice, and it doesn't always work. My major issue with this movie is how terrible its screenplay is, how messy the direction is, and how the entire film just feels like a gigantic deleted scene. Almost all of this movie just feels like it was reshot at the last second. Like they had a scene that worked and they decided to go in a different direction, and that's the direction they took, and this is the movie we now have. It just feels like a big Blu-ray special feature that really should not be a theatrical film. There's so much exposition in the dialogue that is meant to set up this world with so many rules that we're supposed to believe and adhere to as we watch the film, but it's really just characters saying things like, this boy who's been possessed has 3 days until he dies. And you're like, why does he have 3 days? Why is it 3 days? Who said it had to be 3 days? And how do you have this computer machine that lets you go in his mind with some wires? There's a scene where Eckhart visits an old friend who's currently locking up someone who is possessed purely for the purpose of studying him. And it felt like that scene was just there so they could set up some sort of scary jump scare scene later where Aaron Eckhart has to go back and visit this friend and that guy's escaped. And you're like, oh shit. And that scene leads to nothing. I mean, really this entire film is just a bunch of scenes that lead to really nothing. There's so much that they could have had with a story like this because it does take a decidedly original turn from your normal exorcism movie, even though you can really see the comparisons with Inception and sometimes it's very blatant. It's enjoyable that they tried to do something slightly different, but the film never really takes advantage of the fact that it is a little different and it just goes in the conventional Hollywood route every chance it gets with tons of stupid, pointless jump scares, a lot of really horribly, clumsily directed action sequences, and a terribly composed final shot with awful visual effects that just, it made me laugh, to be honest. It was so bad. So Aaron Eckhart is probably the best part of this movie. Carice Van Houten, if that's how you pronounce her name, was also pretty good. The young kid who was also another possessed kid earlier this year in the movie The Darkness with Kevin Bacon, yeah, that shit splat. He does the same thing here again. He's another possessed kid in a terrible, shitty movie. So I really don't know what's going on there. This is a movie that should have came out around Halloween that has been thrown into one weekend of December to just be like, here, please forget about this right now because we have other things to do. I'm going to give Incarnate a D+. It's a quick, easy watch. You can admire Aaron Eckhart in this film for his work and how much he's trying. But this is a movie where they actually have computers with real graphics that measure the demon activity going on in somebody, like a big green orb that like goes like this as it measures the amount of... But of course, it's not a demon. It's a parasitic entity. So in case you're wondering, I am a little sick right now. I'm getting over a cold. Hopefully that doesn't last too long because I got some more reviews coming for you very soon from films I saw while I was in LA. I saw the anime film Your Name. I also saw Nocturnal Animals. So those are going to be coming very soon, guys. Thank you very much for watching. And if you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.